What impact does a career covering famine, war, disasters, and insurrection have on the journalists covering them? That's the question Anthony Feinstein set out to find. For the past 23 years, the professor in psychiatry at the University of Toronto has amassed a database from surveys of over 1,100 journalists, comparing the results from reporters on the front lines with those who cover less dramatic beats. His study, Predictors of Psychological Distress in Frontline Journalists, finds that female journalists may be affected to a greater extent because they are more vulnerable to violent acts.
And you see more depression in women journalists than men. It's a very consistent finding across whatever country we've looked at. In multiple countries now, it's something that kind of transcends country, transcends culture. Women journalists are more at risk.
But there are steps that newsrooms can take. Alison Baskerville is an editorial security specialist for Reuters news agency. Her job is to ensure that journalists in conflict zones have the resources they need.
And also, as the safety people, we need to understand how much exposure they have to that kind of threat and what it is doing to their mental health.
Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, was first recognized by the American Psychiatric Association in 1980, but newsrooms worldwide have been slow to recognize how it affects reporters. Hannah Storm is the founder of Headlines Network, an organization that provides newsrooms with mental health support and training. She says recognition of the issue is important.
There's more of a realization in newsrooms that we need to address and acknowledge and normalize conversations around mental health and the impact of our work on us.
Thanks to Feinstein, safety specialists have more than 2 decades of data collected from journalists who have covered a range of stories, from the conflicts in the Balkans and war in Iraq to the 9/11 attacks and drug-related violence in Mexico, among others. Cristina Caicedo, Smit, VOA News, New York.